So what now? I reckon you want a kiss?
In Princess and the Frog, after wishing upon a star, Tiana's dreams finally begin to come true when she is visited by a frog who turns out to be a prince. Desperate to become a human again, Prince Naveen begs to have Tiana kiss him, but she is not so sure. Of course, Tiana is not about kissing a frog. I mean, they are covered in mucus just for starters. But after the devastating loss of her dream restaurant and the promise by the rich Prince Naveen to grant her whatever she wants, she's willing to make an exception.
Surely I could offer you some type of reward, a wish I could grant, perhaps?
So Tiana goes for it. She goes in to smooch that amphibian right on the mouth and suddenly becomes a frog herself. Now, this wasn't a super big deal to me until I realized that Naveen kisses Tiana's best friend Lottie at the end of the film, and nothing happens to her. Why does Tiana become tied to the curse while Charlotte doesn't? Hello, I'm Isaac from Want So Videos, where I discuss fun topics for fun people. I definitely prefer spreading the magic of Disney over kissing frogs, so today I'm going to theorize on why Tiana became a frog. By the way, if you'd like to learn more about royal frogs and voodoo magic after the video, I've provided all the links to the movies and the resources I used in the description. Princess and the Frog is a unique story with classic elements from fairy tales.
You must kiss me.
Excuse me?
Right, Tiana? Why would Prince Naveen actually think that kissing could break any spells? Okay, there's definitely a history of kisses breaking curses. True love can always break through the forces of darkness. So a kiss makes sense for Naveen's voodoo curse, especially since that is what happens in the original story by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm titled The Frog Prince, which is actually referenced in the film. In the original story, after a spell was cast onto the Frog Prince by a wicked witch, he encounters a princess who is depressed after losing her favorite gold ball within a dark, deep river. In exchange for retrieving the ball, the princess promises to take care of the prince in the palace even though she only thinks he's a frog. The girl was hesitant to keep up her end of the deal, but her father, the king, insists she go through with taking care of the frog, so when the Frog Prince eventually reveals he needs a kiss by the princess, she kisses him, transforming him back into a prince. But other princesses weren't so lucky. In the much more recent story of The Frog Princess by E.D. Baker, the story changes just a bit. In this fairy tale, Prince Edric was transformed into a frog by a witch after some unflattering comments were made to her, so when he meets Princess Emma in the woods, he begs her to kiss him to turn him back. Eventually, she decides to go through with saving the prince, but because Emma was wearing a spell reversal bracelet to protect her from dangerous magic, instead of turning the prince human, she becomes a frog, just like Tiana. In Princess and the Frog, Naveen's curse of course derives from the Shadow Man, Dr. Facilier, who turned Naveen into a frog in hopes of marrying his own minion into the LaBeouf fortune. Voodoo Hoodoo and his friends from the other side were the key to Naveen's transformation, but of course the prince was not willing to stay like that forever, so he escaped the Shadow Man and ventured to the LaBeouf home where he met Tiana. With a little persuasion, Tiana was willing to help the prince, and of course the goal of their kiss was to turn Naveen back into a human, like in The Frog Prince. But even without a curse-reversing bracelet like in The Frog Princess, Tiana ended up green and hopping from place to place. She was suddenly a frog.
Easy, princess, do not panic.
What did you do to me?
Tiana didn't become a cat, mouse, or dog. She was a frog because she took on the curse and therefore the same transformation as Naveen. As revealed by the voodoo priestess Mama Odie, the only way to undo the curse on both of them is to have Naveen kiss a princess.
You only got till then to get that princess to kiss you. Once she does, boom! You're both turn human.
Since the only way for Tiana to return to her human form is reliant on Naveen becoming human, this shows Tiana and Naveen's fate become interconnected by their kiss. Their locking of lips tied Naveen's curse with Tiana, likely because Tiana wasn't a princess. I think as some kind of safety precaution for Facilier, the Shadow Man set up Naveen to condemn anyone who wasn't a princess to suffer his fate. Anyone who was willing to go to the lengths of kissing a frog was probably just too dangerous to be left running around when the witch doctor had big plans for New Orleans. Of course, if Tiana was a royal on the day they kissed, she would have reversed everything for Naveen, but she wasn't. And neither was Charlotte when she kissed Naveen. You see, originally Charlotte was going to be the way to undo the Froggy Voodoo curse.
That's right. Big Daddy's king of the Mardi Gras parade. So that makes Lottie a princess.
Does that count?
Yes, it does. But only till midnight.
Unfortunately, by the time they get to her to have the kiss, time has already run out.
Oh my word. Maybe that old clock's a little fast.
So when Naveen kisses Charlotte, she was no longer a princess, just like Tiana wasn't a princess when she first kissed Naveen. While Tiana's kiss extended the curse to her, Charlotte's kiss did not lead to her becoming a frog. Nothing happens to Naveen or Charlotte when they have their smooches, even though she was just as royal as Tiana was. If the only criteria to have the curse transfer onto another was a non-princess had to kiss the cursed person, then yes, Charlotte should have become a frog just like Tiana. But there must exist some other factor that made these two kisses differ in outcome. Could it be the curse is like some type of contagious virus and it no longer was able to spread after a certain amount of time? Or maybe Facilier was only able to allow Naveen's curse to transfer to another once? What if it was just Charlotte's lipstick that protected her from the curse? Or a mouth spray was the catalyst for Tiana's transformation? Maybe Naveen didn't want to kiss Charlotte when he was in love with Tiana at the end. Or Charlotte's previous role as a princess protected her. Or maybe motive had something to do with it. Tiana kissed Naveen for a primarily selfish reason. She wanted Naveen's reward, and that was actually pretty close to Naveen's own motives for making the deal to turn him into a frog. He wanted money. Charlotte, on the other hand, was kissing Naveen for a purely selfless reason. She just wanted to break the curse to allow Tia to have her happily ever after as a human. There is the possibility that since Tiana's outlook matched Naveen's when they kissed, while Charlotte did not share Naveen's outlook, that this was the difference between who was cursed. But I don't think that's necessarily the answer. I think many of these ideas are compelling and possible in their own right. There are so many possibilities for what could have happened. Since magic is up for interpretation, there's not much of an explanation in the film, and there are so many factors that could have played a part in why Tiana became a frog while Charlotte didn't. But I think there's a simple answer I haven't considered yet, and it goes back to Dr. Facilier. The Shadow Man was the creator of this curse. His deals, his magic, and most importantly his friends were the key to all of the voodoo in New Orleans. The spirits were running amok and were hungry for power, which is why they assisted Dr. Facilier in his plans. And I think they were the ones who facilitated the magic that transformed Tiana into a frog. The curse onto Naveen was a product of the voodoo spirit's magic, so I think to keep the curse actively spreading to those who kissed the Frog Prince, they had to be present. When Naveen and Tiana kissed, the friends from the other side were fully supporting the plans of Dr. Facilier, but when Charlotte kissed Naveen, they weren't around any longer. After taking so much power and time from the voodoo spirits, Facilier became in debt to the spirits. But after the destruction of Facilier's magical amulet by Tiana, the Shadow Man no longer could pay them back. They were done dealing with New Orleans and Facilier's antics, so they took the witch doctor's body and soul, and I think they stopped putting forth the magic to facilitate the curse's spreading. The magic they had inserted into the world, Tiana and Naveen's curse, remained. But if the spirits were backing off from using their magic, that would explain why they wouldn't have facilitated the curse to transfer to Charlotte. Here's what I think happened to Tiana. When she kissed the Frog Prince Naveen, she became a frog because she wasn't a princess, and the voodoo spirits were attempting to protect Facilier's prized prince by utilizing their magic. Anyone who was attempting to get in Facilier's way was being tossed aside and neutralized, and that was the goal when they passed the curse onto Tiana. After the Shadow Man was taken away from our world for being unable to pay his debts, the voodoo spirits no longer were influencing New Orleans, so when Charlotte kissed Naveen after she was no longer a princess, the voodoo magic wasn't present to turn her into a frog. Tiana was transformed into a frog because Facilier's friends still hoped to control Naveen to fulfill their goal of conquering New Orleans. On the day I'm making this video, it is now the second day of October, which means it's Halloween season. Welcome to the spookiest time of the year. So now, for the question of the day sponsored by my patrons, I have a Halloween question for you. To become a patron yourself, check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/WatsoVideos. What Halloween or spooky topics should I discuss soon? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you enjoyed discussing Tiana's Curse, then click that like button. And if you are interested in staying up to date with more Magical Princess and the Frog videos, then click that subscribe button, and please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you'd like to see more Watso videos, then check out some awesome pics over here. And as always, hello Notification Squad, thanks for watching, and have a magical day.